Charlamagne spars with Whoopi over Joe Biden pardon on The View. Why can't you say when Democrats are wrong? Video. But the pair's heated debate about Hunter Biden ended with a hug and a kiss. On Wednesday's The View, Charlamagne the God and Whoopi Goldberg had a heated but respectful debate about President Joe Biden's pardon of his Hunter Biden, prompting the Breakfast Club host at one point to ask why neither Republicans nor Democrats will criticize their leaders. Why can't you say when Democrats are wrong? And why can't Republicans say when Republicans are wrong? Charlamagne the God said during his back and forth with The View host. At the time, the panel asked the media personality about his thoughts on Biden's Sunday move to grant his son clemency after Hunter was found guilty of 3 felony counts related to the purchase of and possession of a firearm while addicted to drugs. While Trump has pardoned many of whom have been accused and convicted of felonies, Charlamagne said any criticism Biden has received is valid as he feels Democrats present themselves as being more morally aware than their opposing side. All of the criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time, and they act so self-righteous, Charlamagne said, explaining his perspective. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to whether or not his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, "Hey man, I'm not focused on that right now." But since they were calling Trump a threat to democracy, and they were saying nobody is above the law but they were speaking about him, that's what they were running on. So when he kept saying things like, nobody is above the law, I respect the jury's decision in regards to my son, he didn't believe that but he didn't have to volunteer that lie to begin with. Goldberg, who said she never holds back on critiquing either party, argued that Biden changing his mind was merely him giving up on being the good guy all the time. I'm gonna stop you for a second, only because we don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed his mind, Goldberg said. You really think he changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all of a sudden? Cut in to ask. I'm going to tell you what I think. I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over, Goldberg said. And this is just my feeling, because at some point you get to the place where you just go, so I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats. Charlamagne the God eventually chimed again, saying it's Biden's fault for previously saying he'd respect the judicial fate of his son. Goldberg then questioned if we're mad at Biden for changing his mind. By the way, I'm not mad at him pardoning Hunter Biden, Charlamagne said. But you sound like you're mad, Goldberg clapped back. Charlamagne added, I don't think people are flipping out with Joe. I think Democrats are because Democrats believe that they don't represent what he's currently representing, but that's just not true. That's why I say they stand on this moral high ground that simply does not exist, and I think this is also the problem when we pick sides, right? We turn political parties into teams. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Ain't nobody losing more than me. I feel like we're going to the Super Bowl every year, but I'm not delusional. Well, that is delusional, but when it comes to political parties, if you pick a side, if you say you're a Democrat or you say you're a Republican, you refuse to be objective about anything. As the conversation closed out, Charlamagne asked, You don't think Biden was wrong? No, I don't, Goldberg answered. Well, that's ridiculous, Charlamagne said. You're ridiculous, a fired-up Goldberg said. Defusing the situation, Charlamagne clarified that he never meant to disrespect the EGOT-winner. I didn't say you were ridiculous, Ms. Goldberg. I would never. I just think that's ridiculous, Charlamagne said. Goldberg then lovingly asked him to come give me a kiss. The segment ended with the two hugging it out warmly as the audience applauded their decency.